When Peter fakes paralysis to test his fiancée's love, he never expects the devastating truth he'll uncover. This isn't just a love story. It's a raw, emotional journey about trust, sacrifice, and the power of true love rising from the ashes. Peter Williams was a young, rich man living in the city. He was 36 years old, tall, and always smiling. Everyone in the city knew him because he owned a gas station and helped people in need in his locality. But even with all his money, Peter's heart belonged to only one person, his girlfriend, Veronica. She was 27 years old, beautiful, and always dressed in the latest fashion. Peter loved her so much and believed she loved him too, without any doubt in his mind. One evening, Peter took Veronica to a fancy ocean view restaurant in the city. The lights were soft, and the air was cool. As they finished eating their dinner, Peter stood up, went down on one knee, and pulled out a beautiful and expensive diamond ring. "Veronica, will you marry me?" he asked, his eyes full of hope and joy. Veronica gasped, her hands covering her mouth. "Yes, and yes, Peter, I will marry you," she shouted, hugging him tightly. The other people in the restaurant clapped and cheered. Peter felt like the happiest man in the world and held her tightly with love and affection. The news of their engagement spread quickly like wildfire in the city. People sent them congratulatory messages, prayers, and gifts. But not everyone was happy about their engagement. Peter's mother, Mrs. Williams, was worried. She was 58 years old, wise, and had seen many things in life. That night, she called Peter to her house and sat beside him. "My son, I want to ask you a question. Are you sure Veronica loves you for who you are? Not just your money?" she asked, her face serious. Peter smiled. "Mother, Veronica is different from the girls I've dated. She loves me for real and not for my money." Mrs. Williams shook her head and smiled. "Sometimes people pretend. You must be careful. True love is seen when things are hard, not when everything is easy and going well for you." Peter laughed softly. "Mother, you worry too much. Veronica is not like that." But Mrs. Williams was not convinced. She looked at her son and said, "If you are so sure, then let's test her love. If she truly loves you, she will definitely pass the test to prove her love for you." Peter frowned. "Mother, that's not fair," he said. Mrs. Williams held his hand. "It is better to know now than to cry later, my son." Peter thought for a while. He loved Veronica, but he also trusted his mother's advice. Finally, he nodded in agreement. "Okay, Mother, I will do it, but I know she will not fail or disappoint me." The next day, Peter went to visit his family doctor, Dr. Emeka. He explained everything concerning the planned test of Veronica's love as agreed with his mother. "Doctor, I want to pretend I had a fatal car accident. I want to see if Veronica will still love me if I can't walk again." Dr. Emeka was surprised. "Peter, are you sure about this plan? It is a big risk," he said. Peter nodded. "I have to know the truth. It will help confirm if she truly loved me." So they made a plan. Peter would fake a car accident. The doctor would call Veronica and tell her that Peter was now paralyzed and might never walk again. They wrapped Peter's legs in bandages and put him in a hospital bed. Machines beeped around him, making everything look real. When everything was ready, Dr. Emeka picked up his mobile phone and called Veronica. "Hello, is this Miss Veronica?" he asked. "Yes, this is Veronica. Who is this?" she replied, her voice clear and sharp. "I am Dr. Emeka from City Hospital. Your fiancé Peter was in a terrible car accident. He is alive, but he may never walk again. Please come quickly," Veronica screamed. "Oh my God, I'm coming now." She dropped her phone and rushed out of the house. When she arrived at the hospital, she ran into the room and saw Peter lying there, looking weak. His legs were covered in bandages. Tears filled her eyes. "Peter, what happened to you?" she cried, holding his hand. Peter tried to smile. "Veronica, I don't know if I will ever walk again," he whispered. "I was involved in a car accident." Veronica cried even more. "No, don't say that. You will walk again. I will take care of you, my love," she said, crying. But deep inside, Peter watched her face closely. He wanted to see if her love was real or just for show. After leaving the hospital, Veronica went straight to her mother's house. Her mother, Mrs. Cole, was enjoying some fresh fruits in the living room when Veronica stormed in, her face full of tears and worry. "Mummy, I don't know what to do. Peter had an accident. The doctor said he may never walk again," she sobbed. Mrs. Cole stopped what she was doing and turned to her daughter. "What do you mean he can't walk again?" she asked, frowning. Veronica wiped her tears. "Mummy, I love him, but I am still young. I don't know if I can spend my life pushing a man in a wheelchair." Mrs. Cole sighed. "Veronica, love is not just about enjoying the good times. Marriage is for better or for worse, and now is the time to prove your love for him." Veronica shook her head. "Mummy, I don't want to suffer. What if I end up unhappy in the marriage?" Her mother thought for a while, then said, "You have to be smart in your decision. Do you want to be tied down to a man who can't walk? You are too young for this kind of burden, my daughter." Veronica looked at her mother, confused. "What do you mean?" Mrs. Cole smiled. "We have Tina in this house, don't we? She can take care of Peter. I suggest we let her go to the hospital and look after him. You don't have to suffer." Veronica's eyes widened. "Tina? The maid? That is a brilliant idea." Her mother nodded. "Yes, she is always cleaning and cooking. Let her take care of Peter. You can live your life to the fullest." Veronica wiped her tears and smiled a little. "That's true. Tina will take care of him. I can't suffer because of love." Mrs. Cole smiled. "Good. Tomorrow, we will send Tina to the hospital." Veronica went to bed that night, feeling lighter. She had made up her mind. She would not let Peter's problem become her own. The next morning, Veronica dressed up and went to the hospital. She walked into Peter's hospital room, her face calm, but her heart cold. Peter looked at her with hope. "Veronica, you are here," he said. She held his hand and said softly, "Peter, I am sorry, but I can't take care of you. You deserve someone who can do it better." Peter's heart broke. "Veronica, what are you saying?" Veronica looked away. "I have asked Tina, our maid, to take care of you. She will come every day to look after you." Peter's eyes filled with tears. He could not believe what he was hearing. Veronica stood up. "I have to go now. Get well soon, Peter." She left the room without looking back. As Peter lay there, tears rolled down his cheeks. The woman he loved had left him when he needed her the most. But what Veronica did not know was that Peter was not really paralyzed. It was a fake accident planned to test her love. Later that day, Tina arrived at the hospital. She was 25 years old, beautiful, quiet, and always working hard. She had been treated like a maid by Veronica's family her whole life. But now, she was the one cooking, feeding, and helping Peter before he was discharged from the hospital. She never complained or showed any sign of anger. Peter watched Tina closely. She was gentle and kind, always making sure he was comfortable. Even when she was tired, she would always smile and say, "Sir, your food is ready." Peter began to see the difference between Tina and Veronica. One was selfish, the other was selfless. Days turned into weeks. Veronica stopped visiting Peter even after he was discharged from the hospital. She always had one excuse or another. "I'm busy at work," she would say. "I have a meeting," or "out of town on assignment." But Tina was always there. She woke up early, cleaned Peter's room, prepared his meals, and helped him bathe. She never rushed or complained. She would sit with Peter and talk to him about anything he wanted. One evening after dinner, Peter watched Tina as she cleared the dishes. He could see the sweat on her forehead. "Tina, come and sit down," he said. Tina wiped her hands and hesitated. "Sir, I am fine." I said, "Sit." Peter repeated. She obeyed, sitting on the chair across from him. "Why are you doing all this?" he asked suddenly. Tina looked confused. "I don't understand, sir. You are not my fiancé. You don't owe me anything. So why are you taking care of me like this without complaint?" Tina lowered her gaze. "Because I know what it feels like to be abandoned and rejected." Peter raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Tina took a deep breath. My mother died when I was small. My father remarried, and that's how I came to live with Veronica's family. They never treated me like their own. I was always the one cleaning and cooking, while Veronica got everything she wanted. But I never complained. I just did what I had to do without complaint, with the hope that one day things will be better. Peter was silent. He did not know Tina had suffered so much. She smiled faintly. I know what it means to be unwanted. I don't want you to feel that way. That's why I am here. Peter looked at her closely. Unlike Veronica, who always thought of herself, Tina was selfless. He took a deep breath. Maybe his mother was right after all. From the look of things, Veronica only loved him for his money. While Tina cared for Peter, Veronica was busy enjoying her life. She went out with friends, partied every night, and even started flirting with other rich men in the city. She acted like she was not engaged anymore. One day, her friend Ada asked, Veronica, why don't you visit Peter anymore? Veronica rolled her eyes. Ada, I can't waste my life pushing a paralyzed man in a wheelchair. If I go there, he will expect me to stay with him. I can't do that, please, she said. But he is your fiancé, Ada said, and we all celebrated your engagement. Veronica smirked. So what? He proposed when he was fine. Now the doctor says he may never walk again. I can't marry a man in a wheelchair. What kind of future will I have married to a disabled man? Ada shook her head. You are making a big mistake. Veronica shrugged. I have dreams. I can't tie myself to a life like that. Back at Peter's house, Peter watched Tina carefully. He saw how she truly cared for him. One evening, as Tina pushed his wheelchair to the garden, he looked up at her. Tina, do you ever wish for a better life? He asked. Tina smiled. Everyone does, sir. But what if someone wanted to take care of you for a change? Peter asked. Tina shook her head. I don't do things for rewards. I take care of you because I want to, not because I expect anything. Peter's heart softened. For the first time, he saw what true love looked like. It was not from Veronica. It was from Tina. Peter's mother, Mrs. Williams, visited him at his house. She looked at her son and asked, Where is Veronica? The woman you said loved you so much, and not because of your money? Peter looked down. She doesn't visit anymore, Mother. She has abandoned me. Mrs. Williams sighed. Now you see, I want you to go to her house. Tell her you want to continue with the wedding. If she agrees, then you will know she truly loves you. If not, you have your answer. And remember, I warned you earlier. Peter nodded in agreement. The next day, Peter visited Veronica, accompanied by Tina. Tina wheeled him into Veronica's house. Veronica was sitting in the living room, scrolling through her phone. Her mother was in her room. When Veronica saw Peter, her face changed, but she quickly forced a smile. Peter, you didn't tell me you were coming, she said, standing up. Peter looked at her and took a deep breath. I came to tell your family that I am ready to continue with our wedding plans. Veronica's mother looked shocked. That is not good news, my son. We cannot support the marriage, and I am not happy to hear this news from you. Mrs. Cole frowned, her lips tight. Veronica's face turned pale. She swallowed hard, then said, Peter, I can't do this anymore. I'm so sorry we can't continue with the marriage plan. Peter's hands clenched the armrest of his wheelchair. What do you mean? I can't marry you. I'm sorry, Veronica said, looking away. Her mother added, You will find another woman, Peter. And remember, this is not a death sentence. Being engaged to Veronica does not mean you must marry her. Peter felt his heart break and cried. He turned his wheelchair and left the house. As he rolled away, he knew the truth. Veronica never loved him, and this was a confirmation of his mother's fears all along. The next day, Tina came to Peter's house with a bowl of hot soup. She placed it on the table and smiled. Sir, I made you something nice. Peter looked at her, his heart full of emotions. Tina, sit down, he said. Tina obeyed, looking at him with worry. Is everything okay, sir? Peter took a deep breath and reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small, beautiful engagement ring. Tina, will you marry me? He asked. Tina's eyes widened. She covered her mouth in shock. "Sir, are you serious?" Peter smiled. "You have shown me what true love means. You cared for me when I had nothing to give. Now I want to give you my heart." Tears filled Tina's eyes. She had never imagined a man like Peter would ask her to marry him. "Yes, yes, I will marry you," she cried, hugging him tightly. Peter sighed in relief. For the first time in a long while, he felt truly happy. That evening, Tina went home and told Veronica and her mother about the engagement. "Peter proposed to me, and I accepted," Tina said, her face glowing. Veronica and her mother looked at each other, then burst into laughter. "No problem, you have our support," Veronica said, pretending to wipe out tears on her face. Her mother added, "Since you like suffering, go ahead and push his wheelchair for life." Tina ignored their mockery. Deep inside, she knew she was making the right choice. Some weeks later, Peter and Tina had a small but beautiful wedding ceremony. Only close friends and family members attended. Peter sat in his wheelchair, looking handsome in his suit. Tina wore a lovely white gown and looked like a queen. Veronica and her mother did not attend. They were too busy celebrating Veronica's freedom from a paralyzed man. After the wedding, Peter and Tina went to a nice hotel for their honeymoon. On the second night, Tina was arranging their things when she heard a sound behind her. She turned and gasped. Peter was standing up in his wheelchair, smiling with love and affection. "Peter," she cried, her eyes wide. Peter smiled. "Tina, I was never truly paralyzed. It was all a planned test of Veronica's love. I needed to see who truly cared and loved me for who I am and not for my money." Tina covered her mouth, tears running down her face. "You mean you could walk all this time?" Peter nodded. "Yes, my love. You are the only one who stood by me. You are my real queen, and I will surely treat you as the queen that you are." Tina ran to him, hugging him tightly. She cried tears of joy. Peter held her close and whispered, "I will spend the rest of my life loving you without season." News spread quickly that Peter could walk again. One day, Veronica's friend Ada saw Peter and Tina at a restaurant and was shocked. She rushed to Veronica's house to inform her of what she saw. "Veronica, you won't believe what I just saw. Peter is walking, and Tina looks like a queen beside him. She's looking so beautiful." Veronica's phone almost fell from her hand. "What? Are you sure of what you're saying?" Ada nodded. "I saw it with my own eyes." Veronica did not waste time. The next day, she rushed to Peter's house and rang the doorbell. Tina opened the door. "Sister Veronica, you are welcome," Tina said politely with a subtle smile on her face. Veronica ignored her. "Where is Peter?" "He has gone to work," Tina replied. Veronica's face twisted in anger. "You are wicked, Tina. You wanted to keep him for yourself. Why didn't you tell me he can walk now?" Tina stayed calm. "Peter is my husband now. You never even asked about him. You did not attend our wedding or visited us after our wedding. Remember, you agreed to our marriage without any complaint." Just then, Peter's car pulled into the driveway in front of his house. Veronica ran to him and hugged him. "Oh, Peter, I missed you so much. I am so happy and filled with joy that you can now walk again. We need to rekindle our love and marriage plans." Peter frowned and gently pushed her away. "Veronica, what are you doing here?" Veronica's eyes filled with fake tears. "Peter, I was foolish. Please forgive me." Peter shook his head. "Veronica, I was never in any accident. My mother asked me to test your love for me. I was so sure you would prove her wrong, but you proved her right. You loved my money and never loved me." Veronica fell to her knees. "Please give me one more chance to truly prove my love." Peter turned away. "Tina, my love, please come." Tina stepped forward, her voice strong. "Sister Veronica, you laughed at me and said I would suffer, but now I have found love and happiness. Please go home." Veronica wiped her tears and left, her heart full of regret and anger. Back at home, she cried to her mother. "Mummy, you made me leave Peter. Now Tina is his wife and enjoys life to the fullest." Her mother shook her head. You should have used your brain. Remember, I warned you initially about your decision. Veronica cried even more. She knew she had lost the only man who truly loved her. Peter and Tina began their new journey together. A few months later, Tina stood in front of the mirror, hands resting on her growing belly. She was expecting twins, a boy and a girl, according to the doctor's checkup report. Peter wrapped his arms around her from behind. "My queen, our babies are doing well," he softly said. Tina smiled at him. "I will always stand by your side, my love." Peter gently kissed her forehead. They felt truly happy, knowing that real love is shown through actions, not just words. A few months later, Tina gave birth to the beautiful twins, and so they continued to live happily together as a family.